What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Stephen Norman Does. I'm John, and last time, Stephen ranted about From Dusk Till Dawn starring George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. This time around, we're gonna speed it up to 2009 and do the disasterific X-Men Origins Wolverine. So in case you try to erase this movie from your memory, let's have Stephen take us back to relive the red-headed stepchild of the X-Men series. As I present to you, Stephen Norman Does X-Men Origins Wolverine in 7 minutes.
When it came time for them to do the Wolverine film, I was like, you know what? I'm down. It opens in the late 19th century in Alberta, Canada. You have these two brothers. The youngest member of the family, little James Howlett, runs out, reveals his mutant powers with his crazy little bone claws. He runs off and stabs the fellow who's the gardener. They run off into the wilderness and pledge to protect each other as brothers. And they go forth in this montage over the course of 100 years. And it works fine until you are forced to remember at the end of it that both of these characters are in fact Canadian. So why exactly they've spent the last 100 years of their lives fighting for the United States of America? Maybe you can riddle me that one. The whole thing wraps up around Vietnam. Cut to William Stryker. He comes in and tells them, hey guys, come fight for your country, despite the fact that, again, Canadian. They decide, F it, do whatever we need to do. They're on the plane, they assault this compound. This one guy flies backwards, shoots everybody in the tank. The blob punches the tank and it explodes. Sabretooth climbs up the wall with his bag lady nails. Proto-Deadpool starts cutting people up. Wolverine's like, no, no! Victor, you and I, we're brothers, we've done enough, we can't do this anymore. And Victor's like, well, I don't know what your problem is, dude, but I like killing people. And he basically is like, oh, really? Bye. The intervening time has been about 6 years, and he's decided to settle down with his ambiguously Native American girlfriend that he's got, Silver Fox. Stryker comes to him and he's like, someone's tracking down our team and they're killing them and your country needs you to come back and fight for us. And Wolverine says, I'm Canadian. After being afforded a goofballish story about the name Kwekuatu actually is Inuit for Wolverine or some sort of wild shit, he senses, wait a minute, something's wrong. He runs off into the woods and he happens upon his lovely girlfriend, terribly bloodied with no signs of life. The next thing you see is Victor at a bar. Wolverine comes busting in. They slap each other around a bit. He gets thrown and bounced around like some sort of poorly created CGI ragdoll. Victor Creed stomps on his extended claws and breaks them. We have Wolverine waking up in the hospital and is like, hey, where's Victor? In comes Stryker and he's like, I can help you find him. Come with me. I know of this crazy procedure called an adamantium bath. You get in this tub, we poke you in the bones. Come on, trust me. And he's like, ah, well, why not? They go to this crazy facility. They give him the adamantium bath. Mr. Stryker says, we got his DNA now. Kill that dude. But with our friend Wolverine's like, you know, sonic hearing, he figures all this out. Jumps out of the adamantium bathtub and says, blah, you may not kill me. He runs out, kills one guy, and then jumps down a crazy waterfall. Did you honestly think it would be that easy to kill the ultimate weapon that you just created? The fact that they did not have a plan going into it, that they didn't say, okay, evacuate the facility. We'll drop a nuclear bomb on this asshole. They were just like, nah, erase his memory, everything will be fine. Now, he has found his way to Canadian Ma and Pa Kent and is hiding naked in the barn. Pa Kent finds him and is like, oh, hang out here for a second, I'm gonna go get you some of my son's old clothes. Apparently that's what you do when like somebody naked shows up in your house in Canada. You're not allowed to be like, hey, weirdo, get the fuck out of here before I shoot you with this shotgun and call the police. He comes to the house, he starts sharpening his claws in the mirror like, yeah, look at the terrible CGI on these claws. And then, oops, I cut up the sink. Oops, I cut the radiator. Like he just stumbled out of a fucking Muppet Babies cartoon. They wake up the next morning. The old man says, my son's kind of a jerk off. Here's his bike, his jacket, his clothes. Feel free. As soon as the mom walks in, she's like, pancakes is ready, y'all. I made some nice breakfast. And all of a sudden, boom, not only do they shoot these people, but then it's like, well, they might be dead, but I'm not sure. Hey, I brought this helicopter with me. Why don't I have it shoot one of these crazy ass missiles into that old folks home down there? I'll jump off, claw the blades on the helicopter, and then I'll grab onto it like a child grasping for its mother's teeth. The helicopter crashes into the ground, sparks the crazy gas line coming out of the helicopter and blows it up. Wolverine now decides, I'll go see my friend Will.i.am. Is like, all right, listen, I'm trying to find my brother Victor. Last time I saw him was right before I quit the team. We started tracking down mutants, Logan. We were taking them to this island and should ask Dukes, who has developed something of an eating disorder. Hugh Jackman is forced to put on boxing gloves and have a 2-minute fist fight with this fat man. Wins out. And he's like, I don't know where it is, but there's one man. They called him Gambit. His name's Remy LeBeau. One more character we have to throw into the mix because why the fuck not? We meet up in New Orleans with Mr. Taylor Kitsch, who has a New Orleans accent by way of Houston, Texas.
Do I owe you money?
they get into the ubiquitous superhero fight. Victor Creed shows up again, kills poor Will.i.am. Quick 90-second fight. He takes his fruity little staff. Wolverine cuts it in half and he decides, well, F this. You and me are gonna have a conversation about this island that you've been held captive on. They jump in Gambit's plane, not unlike Lando Calrissian that he won in a card game. They fly to the island. Wolverine jumps out of the plane, lands in the water, swims to the island, and is like, guess what, jerk-offs? I'm back. He finds Stryker there and he's like, listen, we had to send your brother out to kill all these people. We're gonna take their genetic material and experiment because we need to stop this war before it starts. But I wasn't the only one who had a hand in this. Wolverine turns around, who's standing there but his ambiguously Native American girlfriend. How is this happening? She then proceeds to explain to him that she was injected with some sort of phenylketominophenylethyl fluoramide, which slowed her heartbeat down so that he would think she was dead. But they then show you Sabretooth cutting open a bag of blood and ladling her with it. There's only one problem with that. Wolverine has super fucking senses. He didn't have the wherewithal to look at her and see that she didn't have any fucking wounds. Maybe she had a terrible nosebleed and died. Apparently he's just dumb enough to see blood and a dead person and think, oh, well, fuck. The next thing you see, Sabretooth pops out of nowhere. Wolverine, like, nah, I kicked you off your feet, I stabbed you in the hand, and I knocked you out a window. F it, we only got 90 seconds. Let's wrap this up. He runs off with Silver Fox. She and Wolverine then, go through this facility. He frees all of them. They are about to escape the facility, and who are we treated with? The Deadpool, with a completely separate actor. They climb to the top of this, nuclear reactor silo. Faux Deadpool stabs him through the chest, and who comes in at the nick of time to save his life but Victor Creed. He shoots Wolverine with his crazy Cyclops beams, manages to superheat Wolverine's claws. He cuts his head off. They blow up this nuclear reactor silo. They all fall to the ground. Now, Cyclops, for some odd reason the producers decided was important, leads them out, leading to the revelation of the fact that Professor X, they've digitally de-aged him, decided to show up in his X helicopter and save all these mutants. Now, Stryker comes out of nowhere with a gun, and I'm not kidding when I say this, full of adamantium bullets. Stryker shoots him in the head. You would think that Stryker would have had something a little more delicate, comprised. We gotta get rid of this guy's memories. What are we gonna do? Well, we might as well shoot him in his fucking head a couple of times. But in case it doesn't, Johnny, bring the firing pan and we'll just hit him over his head in case the bullet doesn't work. So he walks off, she bleeds out from her gunshot wound, and Wolverine wakes up with literally no memory of how he got there. Thus and so, you have the unfortunate ending to Wolverine Origins, the prequel that 20th Century Fox decided that we needed.
You know what would have made the movie a lot better? More mutants. Thanks for watching, and if you have any ideas for any movies you'd love to hear Steven rant about, leave them in the comment section down below. We got some really good ones last time, and as per your request, or in this case, demand of Jason Santiago, we were going to be doing Masters of the Universe, so be sure to check that one out. Until then, if you like what you see, don't forget to share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.